Hi guys, my name is Rifka Rajbi. So today I want to share a book review. The book is When Breath Becomes Air by Kalanithi. So this book is a memoir by Kalanithi. This is a non-fiction book. So Kalanithi is a neurosurgeon who is diagnosed with terminal lung cancer in his mid-30s. It was published in 2016, and Kalanithi tells the story of his battles with cancer while being a practicing neurosurgeon, and she uses the page in this book to not only tell his story but also share his ideas and on how to approach death with grace and what it means to be fully alive. So this book is organized chronologically following the trajectory of his life from childhood to death, and is laced with deep philosophical thought and literary prose. And his meditations combine the expertise of a professional with the experience of a patient, resulting in a book that communicates extremely profound meaning about life and death. So before I want to analyze this book, I want to tell you about one of my favorite quotes in this book is, I would have to learn to live in a different way, seeing death as an imposing itinerant visitor, but knowing that even if I'm dying, until I actually die, I'm still living. And no one is better at explaining the real meaning of that than the one who will face it within years, right? So this book, an idealistic yet successful Indian American neurosurgeon who was diagnosed with stage 4 metastatic lung cancer at the age of 36. As a neurosurgeon, Kalanithi saved life, of course. He was at the top of his career when the diagnosis turned his life upside down into what could be considered ironic. One day he was a doctor, and the next a terminally ill patient. Kalanithi's cancer was the only answer to his question, what makes a life worth living? Throughout the book, Kalanithi invites us to live his life from his childhood to his last days. He had a fascinating career in this short life. Kalanithi graduated from Stanford University with an MA in English Literature, another MA from the University of Cambridge in History and Philosophy of Science and Medicine, and an MD from the Yale School of Medicine in 2007 before he decided to start a career in neurosurgery. He was about to finish his residency as a neurosurgeon when he was diagnosed with lung cancer. And the question is, what is the meaning of a successful life when you only have less than 2 years left to breathe? So he died in March 2015, 8 months after her daughter was born. The afterword of this book was written by his wife, Lucy Kalanithi, an internist at the Stanford University School of Medicine. Lucy's afterword came in the form of goodbye letter and a tribute to his husband. She had accompanied Kalanithi throughout his struggles in battling cancer. Her description served the closing remark of the book. It strengthened Kalanithi's message while drawing insight about his perspective on life. Through his philosophical and introspective narration, Kalanithi gives an authentic point of view toward a human's life when it comes to facing death. Despite its vocabulary that is heavy in clinical terminology and the book's detail about brain surgeries. This book presents an inspiring memoir for those seeking the true meaning of life. The book is also full of intense emotions as it is abundantly embedded with some spiritual values as a result of its poetic and philosophical description about life and death, the journey of searching for meaning, as well as the perspective on suffering and gratitude. This book paints clear image of the author's experience and leaves the readers deep in contemplations. The irony of Kalanithi's life captures the realization that the only certain thing in life is change. His dedication toward neurosurgery exemplified his endless devotion to a true passion. Unlike other memoirs, the book provides us space and time to devour its message solely based on our viewpoints and prior experiences. Instead of giving answer, Kalanithi makes us question what really matters in our lives. When this book wants us to stop, momentarily refrain from the urge to fulfill our own ambitions, and just cherish life as it is. So this book was Kalanithi's first and only published book, while one of his articles, How Long Have I Got Left?, was published in the New York Times in 2014, eliciting an overwhelming response from the readers. And Kalanithi's memoirs, especially for young adults, Kalanithi memoirs is worth reading at least one in a lifetime. It is an honest yet beautiful reminder to always ponder the meaning of life, death, love, and time. And I don't think you should read this book because the story of an incredibly gifted man who had his life taken away at such a young age might give you the motivation to live life more fully. I think you should read this book because that talented, inspiring man has incredibly important things to say derived from his own experience, and it's important to listen and learn from them and read this book with the knowledge that you might not always be able to understand everything someone goes through, but you can set aside the time to listen to their story and hopefully give them the dignity and respect they deserve as a human being in life or death. And I think that's all I can say about this book review. I hope you can get some new perspective and education about this, but this is such a great book to read, and I got it from Pari Plus, by the way. And that's all I can say. Thank you for watching. See you.